Invite your friends, guys. Tell them to come watch. Come watch the interview. And here we go. Hello.
Hey,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Good. So excited to have you on.
Excited to be on.
Cool. Well, my name is Deszane. I am the music editor for Hottrax here at the Diva Files, and I thank you for joining us to do this interview.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. Let me see
Yes, of
if this
course.
works. I'm like between a rock and a hard place right now. So
Yeah. It's always
literally,
hard, yeah, getting it set up.
I guess I had it positioned and I didn't know how it was gonna look like when you brought me on. And I was
Right.
like, oh, it's not high enough. Okay, that's
Yeah.
fine. It's okay.
Good, good. Cool. All right. Well, if you are ready, we can get started.
Alrighty, sure.
Cool. So can you just give all the viewers a brief description of who you are, just in case they may not know?
Yeah, sure. I'm Shanta Atkins. Um, Uh, so I'm from the Atkins family, and most people are familiar with me because I'm the youngest sister of Eric and Tina Campbell, also known as Mary Mary. And yeah, anything else? I'm gonna wait till you ask questions. I usually
Yeah,
have
yeah.
enough
No, that's
questions, so
good.
okay.
No, that's good. So I want to first talk a little bit about your ministry, and then we'll move into your music. That's
Okay.
cool. So can you just tell us a little bit about your ministry, what you do, what that involves?
Yeah, sure. I minister, of course, locally, in my local church, through singing, doing praise and worship, lots of teaching. I work a lot with the youth, outside of the church, where I minister is, kind of in a lot of different spaces. So I do missions. So I've done lots of foreign
Hmm.
missions in Nicaragua, in Colombia, in China, in Mexico. So a lot of South American countries. I've also done domestic missions. So when they have different, um, natural disasters, I've served in Texas. So do you remember Hurricane Harvey?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I actually have on the shirt I served in. Um, but it was that particular place. I was in Corpus Christi and some other cities. It was really
Okay.
bad, so I served there for about 2.5 weeks. So I do a lot of missions. In addition to that, I work as a mental and emotional health advocate. Um, and I was able to have that platform expand when I released my previous single, "God Sees You," about suicide. So yeah.
hmm And tell us a little bit about that single. Why was that important to you to release that about suicide and depression?
Well, it wasn't. It kind of just happened. I didn't plan it. Um, as far as like writing the song, it just kind of came, and then I was really with that particular song. I was really led by God telling me like how to, uh, like how to do it. I'm like, oh, somebody shooting in the back. Um,
I'm so sorry.
so yeah, I was really led, like by God on doing that song. Yeah, I think that's better. A little further back, and just when to release it and how, but it talks about the reality of what people go through. There's not too many songs that really deal with it, and
Mhm.
not within Christianity. So I believe that God literally gave me that song so that I can give a voice to those who are dealing with those serious issues,
Mm.
who feel like they're not heard or they're forgotten about. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. In your opinion, is it hard being like young in Christ or like trying to serve God?
it can be.
Hmm
It can be. So I remember when I was in undergraduate, and I went to a school pretty far away from home. It was basically like I went out of state, even though it wasn't technically out of state.
hmm
But it felt like out of state because I had to get on a plane to get there. It was hard because when everyone around you is not that doesn't have the same beliefs that you do, and you're not really firm in your faith, or even if you are firm in your faith, but you go through things, you can be drawn away. But my song "Made Up My Mind" I think really speaks to you really have to speak to the fact that you really have to have a well made up mind to do anything, especially serve the Lord. My dad used to always say before he passed, he said, you have to have a well made up mind to serve God. So that's at any age. Your mind has to be made up that this is what you want to do,
Hmm.
because there's going to be plenty of opportunities, plenty of things that can draw you away, that can draw you out, and all of that. So I think it's just extremely important to know what it is that you want to do, know what it is that, you know who you're living for. And
Yeah.
that's not to say you say friends. I know that's what I did when I was in school and in college and just all through my life. Like, God, I need to say friends. I need people who are on the same page. You know what I'm saying? And he did
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
for me. He really did. He did that.
Hmm.
He really did.
That's awesome. For someone who's like struggling and with the relationship with Christ, what advice would you give to them?
Struggling, what you mean specifically?
Like maybe they're just having a hard time really committing or kind of being firm, like you said, making up their mind. They're kind
Mm-hmm.
of straddling the fence, but they, like they want to live a good life. How would you, like, what would you say to them?
I think for one, you need to know who you serve. You need to know that the person that you're serving and the person that you're living for is the person that created you. It's the person that died for you. It's the person that lived for you. It's the person that will love you more than anyone else. So you need to understand God's love, understand
Mm,
how much He loves you and how much He has a plan and purpose for you. And He's the only one that knew you before you were ever, thought about. And so
yeah,
trust the fact that He has a perfect plan, and the way that He wants you to live is for a reason. It's not just because it's something to do or it was a good idea, but it was a God idea. And it was a part of His original plan. So I would just say, know who you serve, know the God that you serve, know His love. And if you are struggling because usually people are struggling because of different reasons. I get a
mm,
lot of messages from people all the time, and I always ask very specific questions, because sometimes if we're not able to really identify what those things are that's preventing us from, believing that we are as close to God as we are, then you're not able to overcome it. But if you're able to identify the reasons why, then you're able to make better decisions as far as making sure you maintain intimacy and closeness. You know what I'm saying? With
yeah,
God. I think
yeah.
that's super important. It's super, super important. But God loves us so much. He has a perfect plan. And I'm telling you, I would not change serving God in my youth for anything. I wouldn't change it
Hmm.
at all. I wouldn't change it at all.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. So you mentioned a little bit about your new single that My Mind is Made Up. What was like the inspiration behind that, and did you write it?
Yeah, so the song is entitled "Made Up My Mind."
Hmm.
And I write all my music.
Okay,
And I produce as well. So
awesome.
for that particular song, the way that I write, I get melodies a lot of times first. So I got the melody and then I begin writing. And sometimes I write songs quickly. Sometimes it takes me over a few months, or you got to tweak it and all of that. So with that song, I'll just kind of tell you what it's about. It's a short song, but very impactful song, simply
Hmm.
because it speaks to the inward battles that we go to and struggling to hear God's voice at times and not knowing what He's saying. Sometimes we may know that He's speaking, but we don't know what He's saying. Sometimes we know what He's saying, but we don't know what He's saying to us. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of times, like, people come and think, "Oh, Shante, you hear God so clear all the time." Like, nah, sis, nah, I really don't. I really don't be hearing all that clear all the time, okay? I'm
Yeah.
constantly asking God, like, look, you have to show me. You have to tell me. You confirm, give me a sign, give me, you know what I'm saying? Show me that I'm on the right path. And so, this particular song's really like the lyrics. Um, Lord, I hear your voice. Are you telling me, be still or go forward? So knowing what God is telling you to do and when. Like, I didn't know, okay, am I supposed to move forward and just go full out releasing the song? Should I hold it? Should I wait? You know what I'm saying? Should I be over here? Like,
Yeah.
going through all those things. Then I'm just like, okay, then the distractions, like a line in the song, I'm like, shut up, voices in my head, which is one of my favorite lines. Just simply because I feel like we get bombarded with images. We get bombarded just with things. You know what I'm saying? Being thrown
Hmm.
our way. And so even though it may not necessarily be somebody saying, "Shantae, don't do that." It may
Yeah.
not be that, but it's come to your mind. People suggest things. People send you messages. People, you know what I mean? DMs, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Things that come. So I feel like when I said voices, it was those many voices, not necessarily audible voices, but those are the things that come to your mind, you know what I mean, to prevent you
Hmm.
from doing certain things. So I'll talk about that. I'll talk about, overcoming just self-consciousness and all of the different things that I had to overcome with moving forward. So it's like, okay, now I've got through all my junk. Now let me hear, okay, I hear you saying that. And towards the end of the song, it's like, all my life I've been
Hmm.
waiting. And I realized like, oh, subconsciously I've been waiting for this to happen, but I didn't know. I feel like there's certain things in our life that happens that, we plan for, we've always dreamed about it or whatever, but there are certain things that God desires for you to do that you don't know.
Hmm.
I didn't think growing up that I would be singing or releasing an album. I just didn't. Now people say that they thought that, but I didn't. So this was one of those things where I was just like, wow, God, you really had that for me. It's really coming to pass. I'm really enjoying it. I didn't think that I would
Hmm.
enjoy this. I didn't think that none of that. And I think my perspective is different because majority of people that you see in this position are like, I've always wanted to sing. I'm pursuing this, and that, you know what I mean? But for
Yeah,
me, it
yeah.
was different. It was different because I just wanted to be on the mission fields. I just wanted to be out there. Now I would sing out there, but I wasn't like, oh, let me get an entertainment. It just kind of
Yeah.
happened. You know what I'm saying? And I
Hmm.
honestly started singing background because I was making money doing it. I needed to pay off college. I mean,
Right.
I was supposed to give me some money, but I'm not just out here in these streets trying to be like, oh, sign me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So it was just kind of like that. Yeah. So it just
yeah.
kind of happened. So I knew it was the plan of God once it started happening.
Yeah. And then the single that you had before that one, I believe, was Bow Down. Can you tell us a little bit about that one as well?
Yeah, sure. So that song, you want to know how I wrote it? What specifically you want to know?
Yeah, how you wrote it, what was the inspiration behind it?
Yeah, sure. So, let me see. I believe I was sitting in the house, my sister's house, Google's house, and I got the melody, da 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 da, in Jesus' name. I think I got that first, but I heard what I wanted to hear, like musically. So
Mm.
I could hear like in my mind what I wanted to hear, like the music doing, um, before I got the fullness of the song, right?
Yeah.
And so I got together with the producer of the song and I was like, okay, I want to hear this. So I don't really know how to do Logic, Pro Tools. I don't know. I'm just gonna be honest. I don't. So I'm like, look, okay, come here, come here, come here. You know how to work this? Is it that sound? No, 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 not that sound. Is it that sound? Yes, that sound. So we kind
Yeah.
of worked through all of that. And then he created more based on the idea that I came up with. And then I wrote to the bridge because the bridge did something. The bridge of that song, Bow Down. Mind you, I'm grateful for this song because this song has more streams than any other song on Spotify. That
Mm.
song alone that song alone got 102,000 streams last year. Just that song, it
Wow.
by itself.
That's
So
awesome.
that was
Yeah.
great for one song. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, yes, I'm glad y'all like Bow Down. But
Yeah, no, it's good.
it really speaks to the authority that we have,
Hmm.
and like. You have all these people talking about some bow down this, bow down that. Like, y'all all about to bow down to Jesus. So check this out. You bow down, your friend bow down, your auntie, your cousin, and the devil, all of that.
Hmm.
And the things that are not, you know what I'm saying, that we should be celebrating, like, for example, fear. Like, fear has to bow down for us to move forward. You know what I'm saying? Hate needs to bow down for us to unify, like, as far as, like, as a people and just in the body of Christ and stuff like that. So I specifically said Satan bow down, fear bow down, or hate bow down, fear bow down. Those are three things that I feel like are major hindrances, you know what I'm saying, for people just in their life, just in general. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So towards the end, it did something a little different. I was like, okay, how we gonna do this? Okay, okay, okay. Then boom, it came to me,
Yeah.
so I'm just super grateful.
Yeah, it has a really good message. Just taking that authority. I don't think a lot of people know that you have the power to like speak over your life and speak over different situations. So that song just
Yeah,
kind of like reaffirms all of that.
yeah. And it
Yeah,
got a good
yeah.
little beat, I think. I think it got a
Right, it does.
okay, okay,
Yes, you did that. You did that.
okay, okay.
Is there someone in the industry that you would like to work with? Like
Yes,
producer or singer?
I always wanted to work with Lauryn Hill, even though she's not
Mm,
like gospel. She was like my absolute favorite.
yeah.
I pick her. I pick, and I know the Beehive is about to be like, but I pick her over. I would pick her over Beyonce any day because she's an intellectual and she challenges things. The thing that I love about Lauryn Hill, and I'm gonna get to the other people, but the thing I love about Lauryn Hill is that she boldly declares and challenges people. When she went to the Vatican and called them out on all of like I'm gonna go deep a little bit. She called them out on like the pedophilia and all that stuff. I was just
Mm,
like, first of all, you gotta have some, for lack of better words, balls to go and
yeah.
call out the Vatican while they brought you to sing for them. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So I
Yeah.
just thought that that was very brave. I appreciate people who are brave and courageous as far as just music. Other people. So I would say Lauryn Hill. There's a band called Gunger. Now they used to believe and go hard for God, and they don't anymore. And I was like, yeah, I don't.
Mm.
But their music, I think it was so impactful, and so I would want to work with them. And then PJ Morton, PJ
Mm.
Morton, PJ Morton. I've
That's a
been a
good
fan
one.
of him forever, but I would just say those three. There may be others, but those are the three that stand out in my mind that I always have. So
Yeah, that's awesome. That's cool. Well, I want to ask, is having like family members or siblings in the industry, does that make it harder for you or easier?
it makes it both.
Yeah.
It makes it. I'll say the harder, then I'll say the easier. It makes it harder because people have someone who's right next to you to constantly compare you to. So, for
Hmm.
example, Mary has had a lot of success, right?
Right.
So success as far as, you know what I mean, singing for presidents, winning every award you could win. And so now people are like, the people are constantly waiting for you to outdo people. They're not necessarily waiting
Mm.
for you to shine within your own thing. They want you to outdo other people. So if you don't outdo other people, it's almost as if, they're like, oh, you didn't really do nothing, or you weren't really successful because they're
Aw.
comparing you. You know what I mean? So let's
Yeah,
say, for
yeah.
example, I see myself as like the fact that I released a song and I wrote it and I did all that. I look at that as success. As a success. But if I don't win any awards, to other people, that's not success.
Yeah.
I think that it's great that I release more music. Well, if it doesn't land on Billboard, then to other people, it's not success. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So that part makes it difficult because people are constantly comparing you. Um, even when they don't realize it. If I ask certain people like, if they were to ask me like, do you compare me? And I'll say, yeah, they're like, no, I don't do that. So, people don't realize they do it,
Yeah.
but they do. Um, I would say it makes what the part of it that makes it easier is because you do have a little more leverage. You know what I'm saying? I have more influence because just using social media. Like before it was social media, like people know Mary, so people will have you on. You know what I mean? Just because of who your family is. So those
Mm.
are lots of favors. You know what I'm saying that people will do. And then once people see that you're really good, and it's not just like no trash music, you know what I'm saying? Then
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
it's even better. But I definitely know that my sisters and their success has given me leverage. So that's the part that I'll say makes it
Mm.
easy. But it's definitely both.
That's awesome. That's cool. That's a good balance, I think.
Yeah.
Kind of
Mm-hmm.
pushes you and gives you what you need.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you have any other music coming besides the new single or EP or something that we can look forward to?
Yeah, there's going to be an EP coming.
Hmm.
Once I get everything set because I'm an independent artist, so
Yeah.
I fund all my projects fully on my own. And I do have more music, and right now I'm just working on getting everything like um, to the quality that I think it should be at for me releasing my EP. Yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Do
it'll be
you,
coming.
is it a struggle being an independent artist? Like, would you prefer
Oh,
to be signed to a label?
it's extremely hard being an independent artist. My God. Like when I tell you I wasn't prepared for it. Like or maybe I was like I had to get prepared while I was doing it. So I think a lot of times people think you have all these opportunities to sign. Now, while I could have, probably years ago signed with Warren, I didn't feel like that was the direction God was leading me in. So I didn't do that. And I thought like I had this set team. I was working with, the producer and then like at the time ex-boyfriend. So I was just like, oh, we got a team that's solid, right? No, no. I break up with the man. That's no more. You get what I'm saying? So I'm not working with him no
Yeah.
more. You can't do that no more. The producer's just like in and out, in and out. You know what I'm saying? So I don't work with him anymore. So then it's just like, oh, okay. So what we gonna do now? So I can write. I don't know how to make tracks, so you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I don't know how to mix. I don't know how to master. You have to pay for all that stuff. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I
Yeah.
had to learn the platforms. I had to learn how to distribute my music. I had to know about the performing rights organizations. I had to know the business behind it because it's not just making music, it's the business behind it. I had to learn how to encode songs. I had to learn about how to get through radio. I had to learn, like, it's so much that you have to learn. Now some people don't do that, but for me, I'm very anal and thorough. And I'm just like,
Hmm.
no, baby, I'm gonna know. I have
Yeah.
to. So I'm gonna take the time and learn. So I've learned a whole lot. And I think about oh, I don't
It
know what
cut off
happened
a
there.
little bit.
Okay. But yeah, I talk about it, from time to time, but it's a lot of work, and it's a
Hmm.
lot of money on the front end, just
Yeah.
because of production. And here's the thing: you don't know if you're going to get it back. You don't know if your song is going to be streamed
Mm.
one time, 100 times, 1,000 times, and I don't know if many people know how much you get paid based on streaming. But you have to, like, let's say for example, people think, oh, you got 1,500 views, that's so good. It takes 1,442 views to get $1.
Wow.
So when I be telling people, like, look, stream, like, bruh, put it on repeat and let that thing keep going and going and going and going. Because I mean, we got to get 52 streams on Apple Music just for it to be $1. So I think that's the part that people don't know. You put all this money into it and you don't know if you're going to see that return. So
Mm.
it is a huge investment. It is a huge investment, to
Yeah.
get one song mixed. It can be anywhere from $500 to $2,000.
Mm. Wow.
One song. One
Right.
song. You
That's
be
a
like,
lot.
where's the album? Where's the album? Sis, look, let's check this out. Or you guys show me your GoFundMe to help me come get this
Yeah,
money because life is happening and nobody's booking Shanta
exactly.
Atkins. So we don't. I listen to the 4 songs and my little 1 minute songs on Instagram for
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
So yeah, I think there's just pieces people don't know about it. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Where do you see yourself in like 5 years?
we're everywhere. No, as far as in what
Like your
aspect?
music and your career and just like your ministry, where do you want to take that? Or where would you like for it to go, I should say?
Out to have visited more countries.
Mm.
Like I said at the beginning, I'm very big on foreign missions. So I have my organization, which is called Melodies for Missions, formerly known as
Mm.
Love Changes Lives. We went through a name change, Melodies for Missions. So I want to be able to take teams of people to go on missions and not just go with teams, but I want to be facilitating and organizing
Mm.
the groups of people that are going on teams, and then I can share my music there. I have a heart for orphans and, children who are living in developing nations. I think that a lot of times when you are in the gospel industry or in
Hmm.
entertainment, a lot of times people are not inconveniencing themselves. It's more about who's booking me, who's calling me.
Mm.
I'm important, look at me. And you have to remember that as Christians, we are called to serve, you know? We're called to
Yeah,
serve.
yeah,
We're not just called to just, be out here just, yeah, I'm popping. Everybody knows me. Da, 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 da. My fans. Like, no, boo. Like, it's
yeah,
the difference between, what I'm saying, Christian artists and artists that are, that are associated with the world. And I think we have to just remember that, like, we have a greater goal and a greater purpose.
yeah. That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's
Mm-hmm.
cool. Well, can you tell everybody where they can find you on social media so they can keep up with you?
Yeah, girl, I'm about to put it right here in these comments. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm going to type my name in so you guys can see. It's Shanta Atkins on all social media, and then I'm gonna put my name in the comments. I mean, with the name of the song. So I don't know if you want to pin the comment, and then the single is "Made Up My Mind." So, are you able to save your lives anymore?
What we normally do is just screen record them and then like we'll post them to our YouTube page and stuff because I don't know if you can save it, but it will be saved.
Okay. So, and then I'm putting the new single is
Okay, cool.
"Made Up My Mind." Yeah. Sorry, I didn't know y'all was seeing half of my face while I was typing. Just
Oh no, you're good. Okay, awesome. So there's both of those.
Okay.
Well, that is all that I have. Is there anything else that you want to say to everyone before we go?
I don't know. Does anybody have questions?
Does anyone have
You got,
questions for her?
you got like Q&A stuff?
Yeah, we can do a Q&A if
Okay,
anyone has
okay.
anything. Let's see. Oh,
Child, these people ain't on here asking questions. They like, we
I
done.
know. They're like,
Hey, nah, sis, we done. You said it all. You said everything.
right, that's it.
But can you put the information for you send the information in a message for your YouTube channel?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
so
we'll
I can check
definitely.
that out. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this page is for how many different HBCUs?
We have, I don't even know the number. We're from like all over. So there's people in Georgia, there's people
Yeah.
in DC, it's just wherever,
Yes.
wherever. We're
So
all,
different.
everything is done virtually.
Okay, so you guys have different people who come in and come on and host it.
Right, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So, like I said, I'm the music editor, and then right now I have two people on my team, and
Okay.
then we have like entertainment, which we call the Buzz, and then they have
Okay.
like a group. We have fashion, they have a group, and then we
Okay.
have HBCU News, they have a group. Yeah.
Oh, and it's all through this page and your
Oh, yep,
website and your YouTube.
yep,
No.
yep, all
Okay,
through this
cool.
page. Yes.
Yay.
Yeah, yeah,
Alrighty.
so we're all over. Well, thank you again. You guys make sure you follow her and stream her new song. Get those streams up on Spotify and Apple Music. Made up my mind. And thank you
Yes.
so
Repeat.
much.
All right.
Yes. Bye bye. All right, guys. Make sure you go get her song. Talk to you later.
If you wet her up one more time, I'm throwing you in the pool.
She said I could. Do it, Chris. Do it.
Stop, Zaya.
Do it.
I'm gonna push you in, Chris, and see how you like it.
She wants me. She's having fun. Please.
Stop it. Flowers. Thank you, everyone, for the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful flowers. And Mr. Campbell, thank you. Thank you for the flowers. So awesome.